Welcome again to night 3 of From Sickness to Health. We're so glad to see you. Are you glad to be here again this evening? Yes. I am Tina, and this is Carmelo. Carmelo.
Huh?
You're
Oh,
sleeping.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. You don't need me. Go
Wait,
ahead.
wait
You're
a
fine.
minute. We're supposed to be doing this together.
Go ahead. You're good. You're good.
Oh, you seem awfully tired this evening.
Yeah, you know how I roll. I came into, you know, did a double last night and came home late and made a meal that I had to eat. So I ate the meal and I decided to go to bed and I got on my laptop
And what
because I had to
else?
do some work.
And what
And
else?
of course, I was getting text messages, so I had to, answer the text messages and watch TV.
Sounds like
Uh,
you were up awfully late.
like 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, maybe?
11?
All right, maybe 12. Maybe 12.
12 o'clock.
Oh, fine. 1:30. I think
1:30.
1:30. Yes.
1:30.
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, Carmelo, you look awfully tired.
Well,
1:30.
I'm used to it, but
It seems that you've not been getting enough rest.
maybe. Well, who needs it?
Well, you do, and we all do. And the truth is that most of us have not been getting enough rest. Isn't that the truth? So, our topic tonight, where's the rest of my sleep? And to present that is our host, our speaker, TV producer, author, and producer of Healthy People, Rico Hill.
Well, good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Well, excellent. That's a good answer. I love that answer. You know what? You already look about 75% healthier already, each and every one of you. Tonight, we have a very, very special presentation. You're really going to appreciate it because I know your schedule. And I told you that I had something special on Friday. And many of you actually are either working the graveyard shift. How many of you are doing that? Graveyard shift? Yeah, okay. They call it graveyard for a reason, right? Yeah. They'll kill you. And we're going to find out tonight why. Why? And we're going to look at a little topic that I like to call, as we seek to get healthy, where's the rest of my sleep? Emphasis on the word rest, because as I mentioned already, rest is different from sleep. You can sleep but not be resting, right? But we need to look at some of this new research that will blow your mind. And I'm happy to bring it to you this evening. As we look at the principles of health, we're looking at the second one, have refreshing rest. Now, according to this Newsweek article, they were calling this the Great American Sleep Deficit. Why? Because it has become clear that Americans don't get enough sleep or rest. I mean, forget about the fact that we're not resting when we go to bed. We don't even go to sleep. We're up at all times of the night, which is not wise. We're finding that the reasons why we don't have good health, as I've been sharing from night to night, sometimes is attributed to the fact that we're not making good decisions, right? We're just not making good decisions. So as we look to go from sickness to health, we want to make better decisions, don't we? We want to make better decisions. Like, take for example, this would not be a good decision. Putting a trampoline on a high-rise building. I like what it says, only used once. Right? And certain things are just not logical in our society today. This one caught my eye just to give as an example. I travel on planes, and especially during the pandemic, it was amazing to me that as we boarded the plane, we had to be 6 feet apart. But when we got inside you just look at the picture. Once we got on the plane, we were crammed in like sardines, right? So these things just don't make a lot of sense. So we want to get into how we can logically, more rationally, and wisely get our rest. Because if you get your rest, then you'll be your best. If you get your rest, then good things will manifest. Here I am. They told me, by the way, last night that I can't come and give you the fist pound high five anymore. Yeah, I know, right? They put little white things down here because they didn't want me. They said they didn't want me. Don't touch the audience. No, it's a lighting thing. They want me to stay here so that they can get good lighting. Yeah, am I good enough? Okay, good. Thank you. All right, let's keep going here. So let's look at some of the key takeaways from last night. We want to make sure that you remember the things that we shared. And one of the key takeaways last night was that you and your heart are amazing. Amazing, right? Your heart is not attacking you. We found that out. Heart disease is our greatest threat, and we found that just more than a quarter of heart attacks are repeats. And we saw why last night, didn't we? We saw last night that a lot of physicians, even the physician who was working with President Bill Clinton, did not have enough nutritional education to be able to make a statement that linked the fact that he had a heart or cardio infarction episode was because of the fact that he was eating a certain way, and it had everything to do with his lifestyle, right? So we saw that last night. And change is the key to better health. We also saw, as I mentioned just now, doctors receive very little nutrition education. Bill Clinton overcame heart disease. So can you. And your heart loves you and is designed to save you. Let me just say something at this juncture. You, my friends, are fearfully, yes, fearfully and wonderfully made. And if you don't believe it after tonight, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm going to get inside your head. Not literally or psychologically, but we're going to go inside of the brain. And I want to show you how the brain is linked to better health, better sleep. I'm going to show you how the brain, the brain, is linked to the stomach for better health, better rest. Thank you for that. Let's keep moving. Now, here's a little video from my show. Has anyone ever seen my show, From Sickness to Health? I appear with a blue guy, and I thought I would show you that tonight as we did an episode on sleep. Here it is for your enjoyment.
This man's trying to get some sleep. Let's see how that works out for him. Last night, I had him up all night on his computer. The night before, his boss kept him late, and tonight, we enjoyed some nice spicy food to keep him tossing and turning all night. But hey, let's see this. If all else fails, reignite the football injury. Little arthritis. Or how about a whooping cough? Beautiful. You know, a lack of sleep will make you sick. This guy's not doing well. When all else fails, though, I go to my move. The nightmare. Back to you, Rico.
I wanted to define rest, and using just the dictionary's definition, and I like the way that it's using that word, the refreshing, quiet, or repose of sleep, a good night's rest, right? Refreshing ease or inactivity after exertion or labor, relief or freedom, especially from anything that wearies, troubles, or disturbs. You will agree that whether it is lying down for a sweet repose, or whether it is removing yourself from the vicissitudes of life, the trials and tribulations of life, we all need to have rhythms of rest. Would you agree with that? Yeah, we need rhythms of rest. Let's look at a few things here as we get into this topic tonight. So, sickness to health. How do we do it? Number one, by getting a good night's rest, you can actually maintain your ideal weight. Because when you actually don't get sleep, you actually gain weight. You gain weight because the body is producing more cortisol. When that cortisol is produced, it's got to do something, so the body produces more fat, and it will store that fat, and you will gain weight. In fact, the statistics show adults not getting enough sleep, 55% more likely to be obese. Children also, 89% more likely to be obese when they don't get enough sleep. What about this? Balanced hormones. Oh, we want to talk about hormones tonight. Balanced hormones lower cortisol levels. Stress hormone increases, as I just mentioned, when chased by bears. I love my story, but I want you to understand every night we talk about this, that you don't want to be increasing cortisol by being up at night on your devices. Falling asleep, that's insomnia. Oh, stay with me. I got some answers for you. I've got some answers. All right. How about this? It improves the immune system when you don't get enough rest. In this pandemic world, we're not sure what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. We have to make sure that we have a strong immune system. When you don't get enough sleep, your immune system is weakened. Have you ever pulled an all-nighter, or for whatever reason you were up really, really, really late, and then what happened? You felt terrible the next day, and before you knew it, you had a little tickle in your throat, and you said, what in the world is this? Your immune system was compromised, and you began to get a cold, or got a cold completely, or the flu. And we can't take those kind of chances in the world that we live in now. Sleep improves learning. Your brain is sharper, more alert when you have enough sleep. Good rest lowers risk of depression. Oh, that is so powerful. An estimated 90% of patients who suffer from depression also have, 90% also have sleep apnea, right? This is the inability to get to sleep because of problems with breathing and so forth. And usually that is associated with having more weight. More sleep, less eating. More sleep, less eating. We'll talk about that in a few moments. Rest improves social behavior, relationships. You ever hear of being cranky? No, you've never heard of that, nor have you ever been cranky, right? Don't confess, I'm not a priest. So here's the thing. What we want to do tonight, as we look at these statistics, that we have a great American sleep deficit. We want to look at why are people not resting, and how important is it? It comes down to one simple thing: light. L-I-G-H-T, light. Light. We're going to look at how light, too much of it, wrong time of it, how it affects you. Look at this, for example. This is a guy holding up a clock, and it is the perfect graphic illustration of what I'm going to talk about as it pertains to light, the circadian rhythm. Anybody know what the circadian rhythm is? Yes, sir. Circadian rhythm, some of you know. We are designed, hardwired to actually be on a clock. You are one walking clock all the time. Did you know it? Well, if you didn't know it, you'll know it tonight, and you will see just how you have to make sure that you preserve this clock, that you stay in tune with this rhythm, and to the extent that you don't, sickness comes as a result. So you see here, this has fork, plate, knife. What do you think that is signifying? That this clock that you have also determines when you should eat and when you shouldn't eat. Okay? Great book out now called You Are When You Eat. How about that? When to eat, when to eat. Notice here, when to go to sleep, when to do what? What do you think that is a graphic of, this icon here? When you are reading, studying, and feeding your brain with information that you plan to memorize or experience in some significant way. And what is this one? Being in front of devices, whether it is a laptop, a television, whether it is a phone, iPad, whatever it is, if we are taking in that light in the late hours, oh boy, we are doing our health a disservice. Let's get into it more deeply. We can just leave that on all the time. Just leave it up. And when I switch to a slide that has audio, it'll come right on. Here we go.
And we're back with more of our year-long series, Living Longer Today.
Yeah, we've explored how we feel relative to our actual ages. And this morning, we're going to take a look at how working with our internal clocks may lead to a longer life. From sunrise to sundown, our body's clock is always ticking. That internal watch is called your circadian rhythm, and its main job is to get your body to do the right thing at the right time.
So our circadian rhythm is set by the sun, and we want to eat in line with that. So we say eat with the sun. So eat when the sun is shining and fast when it's not, because that's what your body expects.
Dr. Michael Krupane is the author of What to Eat When. He says giving the body a fasting period helps it repair, reset, and work more efficiently.
The most important factors for longevity are what you eat, when you eat, sleeping well, and your stress levels.
Being out of sync, studies show, can lead to various chronic health conditions such as obesity, diabetes, and depression.
When you live your life in line with your circadian rhythm, that's a lot better for your health. It's better for your weight loss, it's better for your energy, it's better for your sleep.
So what can you do to keep your circadian rhythm on track?
The sun rises every day, and so every day you have a chance to get back in rhythm with your circadian rhythm.
And joining us once again to talk about how we can live longer, Dr. Mehmet Oz, the host of the Dr. Oz Show. Dr. Oz, good morning.
Good morning, Doc.
Interesting topic, right? You don't think about only eating when the sun is up, but this is something that really works?
Well, let's talk about the circadian rhythm, which was mentioned in that package. I mean, the Nobel Prize in Medicine, our highest honor, was given 18 months ago for work on circadian rhythm. We overlooked the simplest ideas, and it's not just about jet lag and how you sleep. Those are obvious, but when you give chemotherapy, and yeah, if you eat when the sun's up, it actually makes a difference because your metabolism is different when your body is awake as opposed to when your intestines want to sleep.
So exercise, food, and sleep are obviously important to being healthy, but how do you do all that and get in sync with your own body clock?
All right, let's walk through it. So number one problem we're all facing is electronics in our lives. And I'm not talking about people posting to you at night. I'm talking about the actual light itself. You want to turn off the blue light in your phone. Guys, if you can hear my voice, take your phone out right now, go to settings, and you can set it right now. So at 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night, you turn off the blue light part of the
Why? What's wrong with the blue light?
So think about when you're a little kid going out camping. Like the sun sets, everyone's tired. Why? Because the sun has orange rays. It tells your brain to release melatonin. Melatonin is not a sleeping pill. Melatonin is a hormone for circadian rhythm. It tells your body it's late at night, time to go to bed. By showing bright blue light, which is what the sun does in the morning, you're telling your brain, wake up, stay awake. So an hour before your bedtime, you ought to either distance yourself from the phone, which is hard to do, or
change the settings.
Does the TV give off the same blue light?
Problem with TV, all like, there actually are, even on your computer now, you can put screens up to block it, or give yourself half an hour and read a book. It doesn't take a long time for your brain to realize it's nighttime. It'll do it if you help. But automate.
You don't realize your brain's picking up all those little things. I mean, coffee's something that we have around here a lot.
Yeah, what's wrong with coffee?
Don't take it
You don't
away.
drink coffee, do you, Carson?
Of course I do.
You look so relaxed and balanced. That's right.
No, not much, though. How much can you have? What's okay?
So we actually have collected with Sleep Score 4 million nights of data. And 4 million nights of data have told us that if you have 4 cups of coffee or less early in the day, you get away with sleep. You can sleep just fine. But when you sleep later at night, we think it disrupts your REM sleep. So even if you think you're sleeping, it's not the same quality sleep. And many people like me, 1 in 7 of us, don't metabolize coffee well. So if I have caffeine in the evening, I actually don't sleep well.
So when should we be done with coffee for the day normally?
Well, I would say 6 hours before you go to bed. You ought to be done with your caffeine.
You drink coffee all day?
I'll have a cup at night because I want to. No, regular. I think because I want to.
And you still sleep good?
Yeah, I think. Well, like you said, maybe it's not good. Who knows?
It's good enough for some, not for others. Why take a risk?
All right.
And then there's the whole issue of food. We started on this topic. Let's end on this topic. What is the right thing to do? Eat with the sun. The average American eats 15, 16, sometimes 17 hours a day.
Right.
Our intestines go to sleep And when we keep eating, the food just sits there. And more importantly, there's shocking data now about how you might want to change what you're eating, because it turns out that when you eat dramatically affects how much weight you gain, not just how much calories, but when. So, I'll give
Okay,
you some examples.
so this is a breakfast. This is what we should be having for
Yeah, what
breakfast.
did you have for breakfast today?
Chicken wings.
Oh, come on. That was dinner.
I had Greek yogurt with some raspberries.
You know what it's like working with him? so that's a show-offy breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I did. That's what I had.
Yeah.
But many times folks will,
Grab a
have sugar-
donut.
Eggs or
Anything.
If you're going to have carbs, have them in the morning because you can get away with it. I recommend things like noodles.
Pasta? For
breakfast?
Pasta. Yes. Now, here's why. If you have pasta, especially if it's cold pasta, it gets resistant starch in it. So that, in other words, it behaves more like a fiber than a starch.
If it's cool,
If
cold.
it's
Never
cold.
would have thought of that for
Yes. The temperature actually makes a difference. More importantly, you want to start your day off by eating calories because your lunch is probably going to be your biggest meal of the
Oh, I love.
Quality sleep is what we're after, right? You heard that? He gave 3 tips, and I'm going to expand on those tips. Tip number 1 was what? Devices, right? Limiting your devices, not having them late in the evening. Why? Because of the, what color light was it? Blue light. They even have like blue blocking glasses that you can use and things like that. The second one was what? That old thing, caffeine, right? Caffeine, limiting that. And then eating with the sun. How many of you knew that you could eat with the sun? Most of us did not know that, had no clue that you actually should be eating in rhythm with your circadian rhythm, that is eating with the sun. Let's break that down a little further. This is basically the circadian rhythm that we have. Human beings and all creatures on this planet, we have a 24-hour cycle of time. We have the division between day and night, right? In this cycle. If you took us tonight, if we all jumped on some kind of a rocket ship and we went to another planet, and they had day and night, but let's say they had 60 hours between day and night instead of 24 hours, we would not survive very well. Why? Because we were designed, we were made for this planet. Did you know that? A 24-hour cycle on this planet. We could probably go there and get away for a while, but then eventually we would just die, because the cycle that we must follow is the one that we were designed for, and that's here on this planet, right? So you can see that it's very, very specific. If you just start here, I'm just going to point out a few things. Right here at 9 o'clock. What time did I say and point to? 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is the time when your body starts, your brain starts to signal based on the light that enters the eye, and it stimulates the pineal gland to produce and secrete melatonin. Melatonin is the sleep hormone. Oh, but friends, it's more than that. Oh, you want to know what else it does, but let's just go with that. Around 9 o'clock, that's when it starts. Then by the time you get into midnight, so now right here, based on the fact that the sun has set, let's say in the ideal situation and conditions, because there are places that you can go in the world where the sun sets later than that. But regardless, if we took you and put you in an apartment building, closed the doors, closed the windows, didn't expose you to light, your body would still be on the rhythm that it has been on for whatever age you are. It's going to keep with that rhythm. You understand this? You're designed perfectly, fearfully, and wonderfully you are made. Yes, yes, yes. So they say that every hour before midnight is like 2 hours. What did I just say? Every hour that you go to bed before midnight counts for 2 hours. So if you go to bed by 9, by the time you hit midnight, how many hours have you been sleeping? Where are my math people? Is it 6 hours? 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 hours, so you get 6 hours. Boy, and the average adult needs only how many hours? 7 hours. Kids need more. But as we get older, we need less. But the research shows that 7 hours is what we need, right? And then you see you're in the deep sleep. That's REM sleep by about time you get to 2 o'clock. And then your body temperature begins to lower. Why does your body temperature lower? What's up with that? You don't have enough covers? Heat's not working? Why does your body temperature begin to lower? Because the ideal body temperature is a lower temperature for sleep. Where did we get that from? Did you evolve? That's something that evolution took care of. I would say that you are fearfully and wonderfully designed. Oh, yes. And your body begins to do the things that are ideal for your health, for better sleep, because you need excellent sleep, refreshing sleep. And I'm going to show you why in a few moments. But notice how you go, as it goes through this period of time, different things happen. Sharpest blood pressure rise. 7:30 in the morning, melatonin secretion begins to stop. Your highest alertness is around 10 o'clock. Also, right there at 7:30 a.m., your cortisol is going to kick in. That's going to be that boost, that get up and go hormone. Why? Because it's time to get up and go. So your body produces something that gets you going, moving during the day. And we like to try to substitute that with coffee. But your body's already designed to do what it needs to do to get you going in the morning. And especially if you go outside. Listen, if you go outside before 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to show you in a minute, and you let the sunlight come into your eyes, that will turn on all of your clocks. Wait a minute, you're more than one clock? Oh, yes, you are. Watch this, watch this. This is amazing, this is amazing. Anyway, as you go through this 24-hour period, you see that there's something that happens at specific times because you're designed to be that way. You're designed to do that. Now look at this. This is the solar spectrum, right? Now, I don't want to get into too deep on the science, but you see here, you have different types of rays. UVC, UVB, UVA, and then you've got right here on this spectrum, this is visible light. This is the light that comes from the sun. What I want you to really pay attention to here is over here, you have infrared light over here. Notice here that 39%, only 39% of what comes from the sun is visible light. It's almost a misnomer to call it light because it's not all light. Because when we think light, we think of what we can see, right? But it's not all visible light. Only 39% of it is visible light, right? In terms of the vitamin, in terms of getting the vitamin D, it's the UVB light over here that you get your vitamin D. And that's early in the morning. But notice 54% is light that you never see. Why is that? Why is the majority of the light that comes from the sun light that you never, ever see? It's infrared. Don't you want to know? I'm curious. Stay with me a few moments. So again, UVB is what you need early in the morning. That's the ultraviolet light. That's the blue light. That's the light that for whatever reason, when they're making these devices, talking about iPads, talking about televisions, as Dr. Oz was talking about, all these different types of devices, they emit blue light. That's the same light that comes in the morning, but you're seeing it in the evening. Oh, what's the problem with that? It's going against your circadian rhythm, tricking your brain that it's morning when it's really evening. And if it's tricking your brain that it's evening, that it's still morning, yet it's evening, then your brain is not producing melatonin. Does that make sense so far? Got to keep building on this idea. So, as I mentioned, you have a clock. You're just a walking clock. That's what you are, right? You just have rhythm all inside of you, tick-tocking all the time. In fact, you have a central clock. That's called the SCN, is your central clock. Does anyone know what the SCN is? It's called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Suprachiasmatic nucleus. It's at the base of the brain, and when sunlight goes through your eyes, travels down the optic nerve, it then signals or awakens and turns on your central clock. everything inside of you starts to get happy without coffee. And it then turns on your peripheral clocks. In other words, your kidneys have a clock. Your pancreas has a clock. Your heart has a clock. Your what else have we got? Your liver. Your liver has a clock. And the research, I think Dr. Oz mentioned that what do you call that thing, that award that they give? Nobel Peace Prize was given some months ago. This was a while ago, that particular piece. So I believe it was in 2018. A Nobel Peace Prize was given to someone who did incredible research on this circadian rhythm and how now this can revolutionize science. This can revolutionize how we get well, how we stay healthy. In fact, they're realizing now that you shouldn't be taking just any old pill any old time. What they're going to start doing is this pill you only take at this time, and then you take this pill at that time. And then if you really want to solve a problem, there's a pill that should be administered while you're sleeping. Now, I am not promoting taking pills. But the research is pushing in that direction where people are going to begin, or doctors are going to begin to prescribe medication for a specific time of day that you would take it, because everything is not for all the time. It's according to this rhythm. Yeah? So everything has a clock inside of you. Now, here's how it works, basically. Here's the sunlight going through the retina, traveling down the optic nerve to your central clock, the SCN, or suprachiasmatic nucleus. Sorry to get all sciencey on you, but I love this stuff, right? And then once that gets triggered and turned on, well, guess what happens? Then you've got all types of synchronicity of your hormonal, your neuronal, and all these other types of activities for your peripheral clocks. And they're everywhere in your body, and they actually regulate how your body is going to respond and be healthy. Yeah? Does that make sense so far? Now, here it is again. How the master clock is set. As I mentioned, light travels through your optic nerve, travels down the optic nerve. Now, usually back of the brain receives that light, right? And defines things, color, shapes, but not the SCN. It responds to invisible light. That morning light, it responds in a way that's very different from how you naturally process light. Oh, this is fascinating. So here's the thing. That is what you see here is the mitochondria. Anybody know what the mitochondria is? I promise you, I'm gonna leave all this science stuff in just a moment and break it down. It's gonna make so much sense. The mitochondria is what you have in every cell. It's the equivalent of what you have in your car. How many of you drove here today? It's the engine of every cell, and you have trillions of them, yeah? It's the engine of your car. Now, what if you drove here tonight and you did not have any coolant in your engine? What would happen? You would overheat, wouldn't you? The engine would overheat and it would be rendered inoperable. In your cell, in every cell, according to the circadian rhythm, the stimulation of melatonin at night, it is the process by which the engines inside of your body are cooled down to avoid having oxidative stress. Oxidative stress leads to a lot of issues like inflammation, cancer, dementia, diabetes, all types of learning diabetes, all of your chronic diseases, when you are not cooling down your engines. You were designed to cool down your jets. When you're not sleeping or when you're tricking the brain, that is not time to sleep. Guess what's happening? Melatonin is not released, and the melatonin happens to be the coolant inside your body to cool your jets. No sleeping, no cooling. Got that? So this is the thing that they're finding is so critical, and it's all about light. How we are responding to light, right? So melatonin at nighttime is the thing. Now, wait a minute. Melatonin is released at night. So what happens during the daytime? If you go, make sure we understand this, you've gone all day long on a beautiful sunny day like it was today here in Willimantic. All day long you were just receiving the sunlight. It was on your skin, it was hitting your eyes, it was doing all these amazing processes, and your body was storing up serotonin, and you felt good about it. I can say for myself this morning when I got up and we began to drive up to the Berkshires, I was to go and see a property up there, and it was overcast. And I said, it's overcast. I didn't feel so good, right? But then the clouds began to part, and the sun began to come out, and a smile came upon my face, and I was happy. Why? Because serotonin is the happy hormone, right? And all day long as I was traveling, I was just storing up more and more serotonin as the light was hitting my face and hitting my eyes. But now, guess what's going to start happening when I get outside and that light begins to fade? There's an exchange. There's a synthesis. The melatonin begins to produce, and it's going to start cooling my jets. It's going to start to cool the mitochondria. Now, the mitochondria is so important because it's the furnace, if you will. It's the engine. It's what burns the fuel. And you're burning fuel all the time. But you got to cool the jets. And the only thing that does it is refreshing rest that you receive once melatonin starts to release. But I asked a question, and that question was, well, what do you do during the daytime? Because if melatonin is produced at night, how are you going to get the melatonin during the day? Melatonin is only secreted primarily during the night when the sun has set. It's responding to day and night. Here's the research, and it's powerful. Remember I told you about that infrared light that you can't see? That light that you can't see, it also stimulates melatonin. Stimulates it during the daytime. The light you cannot see. You don't even have to see it. Guess what? It hits your skin, it stimulates it. You go out into the woods, into the forest, out into nature. Wait a minute. Out into nature, the best reflectors of the infrared light are trees and leaves and grass. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you this evening? You begin to see that these things are so connected. Getting outside in nature and exercising, moving the body. Out there, you are doing it not because it's just recreational or it's pretty out there. You're doing it because it's a big part of health for you. This is powerful stuff. And they have found now that getting refreshing rest is so critical to our health. Why? Well, it's sort of like, according to this study, they said we now know why we need sleep. We know we need sleep. We know our brains and bodies work better after sleep. But what we didn't know until now was why. Scientists have just reported the first major mechanical reason our brains need to sleep. Certain cleaning mechanisms in the brain work better when we shut the brain down. Just like how dump trucks take to the city streets during the pre-dawn hours because there's less traffic. That's what happens. Your body, when you go to bed, is repairing. It's detoxing. Throughout the day, we get all types of DNA damage. What do I mean by that? Just naturally from just going throughout, thank you so much, going through the day, we have DNA damage, and the body has to fix it. It does it at night. The brain has to be resting and getting refreshing rest in order for that to happen. It's detoxing. You may have breathed in things. You may have ingested things through diet, and the body will get rid of them. I tell you, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You are designed so perfectly. Even the bad things that you saw, your brain does not want to put them in your long-term memory. It puts them in short-term memory. It decides what you should remember and what you should forget. You are amazing in your design. So this is what happens, right? Now, why does disease come? Here's a definition of disease. I like this definition. I use it all the time. I think it's inspired. It says disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from a violation of the laws of health. Now, laws of health. Did you know that health is a law? Inexorable law. You can't get around it. You can hate the law all you want. It still is functioning whether you like it or not. It's like gravity. You don't like gravity? Gravity doesn't care. You go up on this roof and decide, you know what? In your face, gravity, and jump off the roof. Well, guess what? Gravity's going to pull you down because it's the law. The law of your body cannot be circumvented. We have to know what that law is, and we follow it, and we'll have better health. That's why, on Sunday, you don't want to miss it. I'm going to give a presentation entitled More Than a Meal. More Than a Meal, where I'm going to show you that eating and the food that you eat is more than just something that goes into your stomach. There are laws in place about what goes there. Right now, we're looking at the law of sleep and rest. You even have a rest for your stomach. Did you hear Dr. Oz say that? Your stomach needs to rest. Let me just put it this way. Let me show you what I'm talking about, these laws and how they work. Here's another example. As it pertains to food, as it pertains to when you eat, right? So first of all, just looking at the idea of eating along with the sun. You metabolize food differently based on the rhythm of the light that goes into the body. Why? Because the stomach has a clock. The stomach has its own clock. And guess when the stomach operates best? When you're sleeping? When you're somewhere between 9 and 2 in the morning? Your stomach rests best while you are asleep. Yes, it is true that in between meals, it takes a rest. That's why you can't snack all day. Because listen, every time you eat, even a morsel of food, let's say you had breakfast. Did everyone have breakfast this morning? Breakfast? Some people skip breakfast. Well, guess what happens when you skip breakfast? It's a law. If your body has been fasting through the night and the moment you wake up and light comes through your eye, the ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, is stimulated and it starts saying, feed me now. And you can be like, you know what? I'm not feeding you nothing. And then you go into a nice quiet place and it says, fine, you don't want to feed me? I'll embarrass you in front of all these people. It starts roaring like a lion, right? Am I telling the truth? And it's not because it's really trying to embarrass you. It's following a law. And that law says after you have been fasting, when you awaken and light comes in, the clock for your stomach is turned on and it's now time to put food in there so that you can burn that fuel and you can begin to go about your day. It's a law. You can't get around it, right? Then the law continues. So you had your nice meal. You ate a good meal that morning, and then you went on your way, and then you went to work or to school or whatever you did, and then you walked past the table, and you saw some lovely grapes. You said, it won't kill me to just have one. I ate 2 hours ago, but it won't kill me to just have one grape. You pop it in your mouth. Guess what? The food you had for breakfast, which was churning in this violent experience because you have hydrochloric acid, meaning bile, and all these stomach juices, and They are working to break down the food in your stomach and move it on its way. And the moment you took a piece of even a small grape and put it in your mouth, everything that was working and going stops and said there's more food. It stops where it was. It goes and takes the food that was just taken in, even though that it was a small grape, and then that food is undigested and it will be fermented in your stomach. And now you have not been working with the clock because you introduced more food at a time when your stomach was looking to finish a process and then rest. Tomorrow, when we talk about the constitution of constipation, we're going to talk about when and what and how to keep you regular. But looking more at this idea of resting the stomach and why it's a law. And if you don't follow that law, how it then turns into a disease process. We must understand that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and everything matters when you do it according to light. Light is powerful. Let me give you a couple more slides and then we will bring this to a close. Sleep improves athletic performance. I think that's clear, right? Now, I want to give you some tips. Here are some tips. I'm going to do something. I'm going to talk about these tips, and then I'm going to make something that you're going to try tonight. This is your sample. And I have some things up here, and I've selected this for a reason. Because in the evening, just as I'm talking about, you don't normally want to eat. And most people eat their largest meal at night. You know that, right? Most people do. Largest meals in the evening. People right now are preparing to go out to dinner. And they're going to have a full meal of meat and potatoes and a big salad. And they're like, yeah, that's what we should do. It's the worst thing. Why? Because it's going to cut into that time when the body is looking to rest, to detox, to actually begin to repair those things that were broken during the day. And now it's been disrupted and it's going to cause issues. And not the least of which will be being very tired in the morning, right? Here's what we like to say. In the morning for breakfast, eat breakfast like a king or a queen. Have your fruits, your carbs. Carbs are better, just like Dr. R said, in the morning. Have your carbs in the morning, not late in the evening. So that means if you're going to go out to dinner, sometimes you're going to do it. And it's going to be dark outside. But what you don't want to do is have that big old piece of cake. All those carbs. So because the body is now saying, no. The law says we need to go to sleep now. And you're like, I don't care. I'm going to have this big piece of chocolate cake anyway. And you have that big slice of cake. And then what does it do? It says, okay, fine. Because we can't burn it, because we can't really break it down, we'll just store it as fat. And the fat you eat is the fat you wear. Did you hear what I just said? The fat you eat is the fat you wear. The next day you're like, man, why aren't these pants fitting me like they did the other day? And your pants seemed like there was some cake incident last night. And it would be true, right? So, we want to make sure that we are working with the rhythm of the body. Now, here's a few tips. These are great tips based on the light and the circadian rhythm. Dark room. Make your bedroom as dark as you possibly can. Keep it nice and dark. Yeah? No, what do you call those? Night lights. No alarm clocks. All those things are actually emitting light, and it's tricking your brain that it might still be daytime. No melatonin. No clearing up of oxidative stress within the mitochondria. Sickness and chronic disease comes as a result, right? So we want to be mindful of that. So keep your room nice and dark. Second tip, cool room, 68 degrees. The body needs a cooler temperature to actually sleep and have refreshing rest, right? Keep it nice and cool. Even in the wintertime, your room should be nice and cool, 68 degrees. Number 3, exercise early in the day, not late. A lot of people go to the gym after work. Okay, fine, they do that. They're getting in shape, and that's what they got to do. That's great. But it's not good for sleep. Exercise is a stimulant. You stimulate the body, and you won't be able to rest. No late night eating. We just talked about that. Let your body rest. The last meal, if you go to bed at 10 o'clock, your last meal should be around 5 o'clock. If you go to bed at 9 o'clock, your last meal should be around 4 o'clock. Yeah. Because you need about vegetables digest. I'll talk more about this tomorrow. Vegetables digest a little longer. Hear me. Everyone listening? Everyone listening? Young people, I want you to hear this. Vegetables digest 4.5 hours. Hold on a second. 4.5 to 5 hours. They digest. Fruit digests 3.5 to 4 hours. A steak, a hamburger, 72 hours. 72 hours. 72 hours. That's the transit time of meat. So it's going to be in your gut a longer time, and it won't ferment like, say, things that have sugar. It putrefies. Putrefies, it builds up toxins. And that's the problem that we have with a lot of chronic diseases. Talk more about that tomorrow. But no late night eating. You want to eat your last meal well before you go to bed. And you never want to drink with your meals. We'll talk about that tomorrow as well in more detail. No caffeine, that's clear. Don't even need to expand on that, right? And then, of course, no light from electronics in your bedroom. How many of you have televisions in your bedroom? Bad idea. Get it out of your room. Get it out. Kick it out. The bedroom is for only two things, and one of them is sleeping. So you want to get, I'll let you all determine what. Okay, all right. Early sunshine. Get up and get that morning walk. Get outside and take that walk and let that light in your eyes. You would be amazed how good that will be for your health. Get outside and get that early morning blue light. That's that light that comes over the horizon early in the morning. Yeah? Keep your room clean and tidy. Have you ever noticed that when your room is nice and clean, you got new sheets on, right? How wonderful that is. I do that. I like to do that every week because there's another rhythm. I'm going to show you this real quick before I make this thing, and the smoothie. And I'm making the smoothie because we don't want anything that's heavy to be on your stomach tonight. But I want to read you something. Did you know that there is a daily circadian rhythm, as we've been talking about, but did you know that there's also another rhythm? Every 7 days, there's another rhythm. Raise your hand if you knew that. It's called the circaseptum rhythm. Anybody know about that? Circaseptum? Circaseptum. Let me tell you what it is. It's in the book. This is the book, the one that I've authored, and it's called Healthy Self. And for those of you who are joining us live stream, I think that there will be some made available to where you are as well. So we want to make sure that you have these right on this camera. He's bringing it up. There you go. This is called Healthy Self. Now, when people go through the 10-week program, this will be your manual. This will be the book that you will use. And you will learn all manner of things about these health principles as it goes through one each week. And you learn the things that you can incorporate and apply in your life to begin to have what we call the new life. Now, listen to this about the circaseptum rhythm. This is going to blow your mind. Talking about a law of the body. Listen to this, right from the book. The world's foremost authority in this field, Dr. Franz Halberg, has proposed that our 7-day body rhythms, far from being passively driven by the social cycles of the calendar week, are in fact innate and autonomous, and perhaps the reason why the calendar week arose in the first place. Well, what is he talking about? Listen, these innate and autonomous rhythms can be observed down to the cellular life. This 7-day cycle, known as the circaseptan rhythm, has also been found in heartbeat rhythms, fluctuations in blood pressure and urine chemistry and volume, While these are virtually imperceptible, in other words, let me break that down. Every 7 days, your heart beats different than it did all the other days. What? Every 7 days, your blood pressure is different than all the other 7 days, 6 days, I should say. Your urine volume, according to this, is different. Now, here's how you can tell. Listen to this. While these are virtually imperceptible to us, it is easier to see the 7-day cycle when the body is stressed and the immune reaction kicks in, such as when we're fighting a cold, which, if you've ever noticed, usually lasts how long? How many days does the cold last? 7 days. Why? Because the 7th day, your immune function kicks in and it gets rid of the cold. Any cold that lasts more than 7 days, you have a bigger problem. Because in every human body, according to the circumception rhythm, you should actually be able to get over a cold in 7 days, and on the 7th day of that cold experience, it should be done. That's a circumception. I told you, you're on a clock. You're designed perfectly. Your body is doing exactly what it should do when you are working within that rhythm. Does that make sense to you? Now, let me give you some last little tips about light, and then I am going to, no alcohol, obviously. Have a bedtime routine. Know when you're going to brush your teeth. Know when you're going to do that. No. But here's the thing. Light, because of where the direction of the sun, like these lights now, if I look up like this, I'm getting all types of light, but this is not the kind of light that comes from the sun, right? This is an imitation. So it doesn't do or have the same effect, but it can throw my brain off. So I don't naturally get the benefits of it, I only get the negative effects of it. Because my brain is still saying, well, maybe there's something coming in through the eyes. Maybe the sun is still up. Let's not produce any melatonin. So my jets aren't cooling and I'm burning hot, right? I don't feel hot. I don't seem hot. I'm not sweating. But at the cellular level, I'm in a disease-promoting situation. Does that make sense to you? So at night, here's a very, very cool tip. At nighttime, turn off your overhead lights. When it's time to go to bed, say like 8 o'clock, you're starting to wind your day down. Don't have on the lights overhead, because the way that it most will receive and think that the light of the sun is still going is overhead light. Better to have on ambient lights. Right now, they have these cool lights that you can get from Costco or Sam's or BJ's or whatever you have. And those lights are the ones that you can sync to your phone. It's an app. And you can change it's the light bulbs. And you can change them, they're LED light bulbs, you can change them to whatever color you like. And guess what the color is best for preparing your body to go to bed? Guess what color? Blue's the morning. What'd you say? It's a red light. Switch it to red. Have that on your lamps. And have that around. And watch how you start to get really drowsy. And maybe even you, my friend, with the insomnia. Stop the eating it late. Don't have the coffee. If you're working out at night, don't do that, right? And we may have just nailed it. All of the above. Stop. I hope you got the tips then, right? Okay, good. But you turn on your red light or an orange light, and then the body begins to wind down and prepare for sleep. In the morning, you turn on the blue light. They call it blue light therapy. Red at night, blue in the morning. Now, here's the best thing that you do. I just did this in my house. They have these lights that you can purchase, and they are LED lights. They are motion censored, and you just can put them, sorry guys, but you can put them like this high on your walls toward the floor. When you walk in the room, it lights up down there without ever affecting the light that's entering into your eyes. So simple, but this is what you're going to start hearing more and more. This is what the research is showing. So light should not be up here, okay if here, but even better if it's down toward the floor. And watch what happens to your sleep. Better sleep, better rest. All right, does that sound good? Make sense? All right. All right. I was going to make something here, but I don't see any ingredients. I'll tell you what the ingredients are. Where are they? Here they come. So I've got my trusty blender here, and I'm going to make something. This is what's going to be sampled tonight. This is a green smoothie. Thank you. What an amazing husband and wife team. Give them a round of applause. Look at that. They even brought me gloves. My hands are really large.
These are for me.
I can't fit these gloves.
It's all right.
This is not going to work.
We're going to take them out so we can make some more.
Okay. Oh, well, I have what I need here.
Everything's ready to go.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So what we're making is a green smoothie. This is a great thing that you have when you're feeling a little hungry at night and you're like, but I don't want my stomach to be just kind of doing its own thing throughout the night. You do a smoothie. Like, say, this time of the night, you do a smoothie, a green smoothie, and you basically will not have the ill effects of having caused the stomach to be trying to digest food. So basically what this is lemon ginger. Lemon ginger, I'm going to pull, I think that's about 1.5 cups there. In there, I've got some pure maple syrup, just to give it a little sweetness, right? A little sweetener. And the beauty of maple syrup, it's the only sweetener that is it alkaline or is it acidic? You know, alkaline. It's alkaline. And the body does best when it is more alkaline. Cancer, hear me, cannot thrive in an alkalinized body. That's just a fact. That's the science. Whereas it thrives, and most chronic diseases do well in a very acidic body. Yeah? So you want to always be more alkaline. And greens and things are very alkalinized, okay? So we want to keep that in mind. I've got some Brazil nuts. I'm going to talk about these in depth on Sunday when I talk about more than just a meal. 3 Brazil nuts is all you need. They're high in selenium. And Brazil nuts, are you ready for what I'm about to say? No, you're not. You're not even ready for this. Brazil nuts, actually, according to a study that was done, just 4 Brazil nuts brought down cholesterol faster, better than statin drugs, and brought it down 29 points in just 9 hours. That's amazing. I call Brazil nuts the original pill. Then I've got some lemon juice. Lemon juice, talking about the mitochondria. I talked about that tonight, didn't I? You learned something about the mitochondria? Well, the mitochondria is the furnace. It's the engine. It burns things, right? So all that you will take into your body is going to go into the furnace. It's going to burn. And when it burns up, what happens when anybody have a fireplace here? Fireplace? No fireplaces? Got a fireplace? What happens after you burn some wood, some logs? What does it leave? An ash. So when a mitochondria burns up the food as fuel, it leaves an ash. That ash is always, always, always acid. Except when it takes in lemon juice. And lemon juice is that's right, lemon juice is an acid. But when it burns in the mitochondria, miraculously, the ash is alkaline. We're going to get you alkalinized tonight. And then I've got a little fruit called avocado. You know that's a fruit, right? There we go. We put that in there. And we do an avocado because it's a good fat, and fats are good. And it also is great for making the smoothie smooth. Right here we have some superfood. This is chia. Chia is very mucilaginous. It's going to also add some omega-3s and some good fiber. Put that in there. And then last but not least, the thing that gives it its name, green smoothie, we're going to put in some kale. Kale has become very popular in the last few years, and it is amazing all that it does. We'll talk about that more on Sunday as well. I've got a lot to say about kale and collards and things like that. All right, then we add some ice. to make it nice and chilled. This is not my blender, so fingers crossed. I know, right? All right. I'm very nervous. Whose blender is this? Sometimes people bring me blenders, and they haven't used them in like 10 years. And they're like, well, he needs a blender. Does this thing work? 5 hours ago? All right. I don't want to get stuff all over me. It's happened before. I'll be very embarrassed. All right, here we go. And we blend, blend, blend. By the way, you're going to try this right after I make it outside. I think you'll like it. Oh, this is a nice Vitamix. And this is your green smoothie. I think you're going to like it now. Yeah. What you can do is you can form a line right here, and I'll just pour some in your hand or your mouth. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Tomorrow night, yes, thank you. Tomorrow night, what's the topic? The Constitution of Constipation. I call it that because most people do not know what constitutes constipation. But I'm going to show you what causes that problem according to the law of your body, and you'll never have a problem again. All right? May God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Short naps? Take short naps. Yeah. When you get older, you know, when you get sleepy. Okay, she's asking, take short naps. What do I mean by that? Just understand that if you happen to be at home, or if you happen to be at work, or you're driving, and you get really sleepy, the law is your brain is saying stop. Listen. If you have to pull over, close your eyes for 5 minutes, it'll do wonders. Short naps are incredible. If you're at home, all the better. But even if you're driving, don't try to fight through it. Pull over, take a quick nap, and keep going. We've got some prizes tonight. Where are we?
All right. Here we go.
You guys ready for some prizes? Okay, our first prize tonight is
Are you kidding me? A blender?
And it works.
Let's go together.
And it works. It is actually a full prize pack that it's the blender, so you can make the smoothie or the cheese sauce that we tried the other night. And Jackie here is holding a basket of all the ingredients that you need for that delicious cashew cheese sauce.
Is it too late for me to get a number?
Who would like to win this tonight? Okay.
All right, here we
So
go.
this whole thing goes together.
All together.
All right.
Wow.
It's a super prize pack. You'd make
Here
that
we
green
go.
smoothie.
Here we go. The number is, anybody have drums anywhere? 814-3123. Wait a minute, that's mine. That's mine.
Oh, awesome. Nice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Come on up and get your prize. Congratulations.
Awesome.
The ninja and all. Yes. Yeah.
Check his ticket, though. Check his ticket.
The ninja and you need 4 hands for that one.
Wow.
All right, give him a hand. Now we have one more, and this is a rest and wellness pack. Rest and wellness pack.
And what does that mean, rest and wellness?
So there is everything you need for a restful evening, including, yes,
This is like little bags with like lavender in it.
lavender sachets. There's some wellness vitamins, lifelong vitality supplements, as well as massage certificates for one of our massage therapists to come, as well as a number of other items. You would love to have this. Anyone would love to have this.
Tina, can I
Yes.
just say, I had one of those lavender little things, and I had it on my pillow last night, and I slept so well. Couldn't believe it. Lavender is amazing for sleeping. So there's one in there?
There is one in there, and there's more. There's more. So,
Okay.
That's
All right.
perfect. I was so tired, so I can just take this?
you know what?
Okay, here we go. The number is 964 27 23 964 27.
All right! Yay! Congratulations. Okay.
Who won? Who won?
We'll bring it to her. Yeah, you can bring it to her.
Go
yeah.
check the ticket.
Yeah, check her ticket.
I don't know. She's in the dark. Check that ticket.
You know what? She worked third shift for many years, so she needs it. So, all right.
So it's a sachet of.
There's a number of things I forgot.
Let me know if you want to sell that lavender thing. I would be willing to buy it. All right, is that it?
That is it
That
for
is it for
tonight,
tonight.
but there will be more giveaways tomorrow and
When are we
Sunday.
giving away this bike? I want this bike. There's a bike.
There is
Tomorrow's the bike?
Tomorrow's the bike?
Nice.
So
nice,
do come back,
nice.
and if you're joining from home virtually and you're in the area, you can still come down to the At Capitol Theater and join us here for tomorrow evening's
Tomorrow evening.
presentation.
Same time, right?
Same time, 6:30. Come here.
6:30. Before we finish, what is the time on Sunday?
Sunday, that's a great question. We will be meeting at 2 o'clock. That's tomorrow. Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, so Rico's question was, what time are we meeting on Sunday? And that is 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock for our presentation on Sunday. But we
Okay.
do have a special feature tomorrow.
What is the special feature tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we will be offering free health screening at this location at 3 o'clock. Free health screening, and we'll be screening your, you'll answer a questionnaire on healthy habits, some of these principles here, and we'll be able to see some interesting things, or you will, as well as blood pressure, cholesterol, glucose. We'll have chair massage and a number of other things for you. So anyone who is here from 3 to 6 tomorrow, you can have that free health screening. If you want the full screenings, you do have to fast for 8 hours prior to that, but anyone can come for the basic screenings as well.
And that's between 3 and 6 tomorrow.
3 and 6
So
anytime.
you're going to have like nurses and things like that here? Is that what it's going to be?
We have a team of doctors and nurses who do this on a regular basis, and they were with us last Saturday. We had a full health screening. Some of you came early, right? And we're going to offer that again tomorrow. So right here at between 3 and 6 p.m.
Fantastic. You know what? Does anyone here know someone who has high blood pressure who's not here tonight? That's not here. You know someone? Do you know someone who has heart disease who's not here tonight? Somebody who has diabetes, high blood pressure, or high blood. You know some people? You need to call them tonight. I would highly recommend that tonight you call them and say tomorrow there will be at this seminar free screenings, because here's the thing. Wouldn't it be awful if someone who could have benefited from these meetings, because they have an issue, that something would happen to them having missed these meetings, having missed these screenings? So I'm encouraging you to talk to the person that you know who needs this and say, come with me, come to the screenings, they're free, and we know that you will receive great benefits. Can you do that? Yes. That's simple enough, right? God bless you and good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.